Hey guys, how is everybody doing? Today we got our premiere of Daredevil Born Again, which released the first two episodes of the brand new series, which is now streaming on Disney Plus. Do go watch that. I'm gonna try and keep it completely spoiler free. So this is something that I'm going to end up doing for the rest of Daredevil Born Again, and I did this for Chucky season 3 and Chucky seasons 2 and 3, excuse me. I also did it for the first season of The Last of Us when that first came out. I'll be doing the same exact thing for season 2, to where every single week, whenever the new episode releases, or a new episodes, which this series is going to end up doing, is that every week I'm going to be coming up on here and I'm going to be talking about the episode, or the episode's giving my brief thoughts, doing a little, excuse me, excuse me, and doing a little review pretty much, and just kind of giving my overall thoughts on the episode, or the premiere, as I'm going to be talking about today. And so that's something I'm going to be doing. It's something I really love doing. I love doing these weekly recaps and weekly reviews of TV shows that I'm really looking forward to, or just shows that I really like. So I love doing them for Chucky and The Last of Us, and so I'm going to be doing them for Daredevil. So for the next 7 or 8 weeks, I believe that's how many weeks it's going to be for the rest of Daredevil. I'm going to be doing this, and so today I'm going to be talking about the first two episodes of Daredevil Born Again. And before I start talking about the first two episodes of Daredevil, I want to give my little history on Daredevil. Now, for those of you who don't know, I am a huge fan of Daredevil. That is my favorite Marvel television show of all time. That is my favorite comic book show of all time. I freaking adore the Daredevil show from Netflix, and that, I would contend, is one of the greatest shows of all time. And I would honestly would contend that as probably the best MCU project of all time. Now, since it is technically MCU canon now, which I freaking adore that show. That is one of my favorite shows of all time. That is my favorite comic book show of all time. I freaking love that show. And whenever they announced this, I was over the roof excited for it, because we were finally getting Daredevil in the MCU. He's going to be able to live to that full potential in the MCU. He's going to hopefully we'll down the road we'll see him team up with Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Hopefully we'll see him team up with others. Like, whenever they announced the show, I was so excited and stoked. However, I became more nervous because they pretty much did a completely creative reboot, because the original version of Daredevil Born Again was going to be 18 episodes. You had CW writers on board with it. Karen and Foggy were supposedly killed off screen in that original show idea. Daredevil didn't even put the suit on until episode 4, and Bucky was supposed to be in it. She-Hulk apparently was supposed to be in it. All in. Jessica Jones was going to be in it, and she was going to fly, apparently. Like, all of these different ideas that were thrown into the original Born Again show did not sound interesting to me, and I instantly knew, just reading some of that stuff, I am completely happy that they decided to do a creative reboot, because I guarantee you, that was the show we got right now. Nobody would care about this. Everybody would have given up on Marvel, and everybody would not even want to bother to watch the rest of the series. I guarantee you, if that happened, I would not even been sitting in front of this camera talking about it. But thankfully, they did a creative reboot. You got the showrunner of the Punisher show that was on Netflix, and you got directors of Loki and I believe Moon Knight as well working on it. So they did a complete reboot on this, and now we've got the new version of it, and hopefully the better version. However, with all of that, with all the creative reboots, firing people, rehiring people, multiple delays because of the writer's strike, all these different things, Netflix canceling the original show, we have finally got Daredevil back once again. And did it deliver? And I can proudly say, after watching the first two episodes of Daredevil Born again, we're only 2 episodes in so far, I am over the roof excited for the next few weeks, because these first 2 episodes felt like Daredevil again. This felt like I was watching the original Netflix show all over again, because literally the first 15 minutes, the first well, I shouldn't say 15, like the first 5 minutes, you get so much nostalgia, and you just see yourself smiling of like that nostalgia like feeling to Daredevil again, to where it's just going to put a smile on your face, and you're going to be like, this is awesome, because you literally have the show begin with Matt and Nelson and Karen. Those three, that is how the show starts, is those three walking together and just being old friends, and then they end up going to Josie's bar, which is one of the their hangout spots in the original show, which just from that is just a huge nostalgia run, and then just seeing Daredevil in action in the beginning of in the beginning of the first episode, the first 15 minutes, which one of the coolest openings to the show, which it just set the bar of what the rest of the show is going to probably look like, and I'm freaking excited for that. And seeing Daredevil swing around with his little stick things, that was just awesome. You can tell that he was MCU upgraded for sure. And one thing I will admit throughout that whole opening of the show, but the whole fight sequence that we get in the opening of episode one, it was all done in one take, which awesome. Which I was hoping it would be later in the series. Hopefully they'll do it again, but they did it like right out of the blue, like right away in the show, which they did that before in in the other three seasons, which was some of the coolest moments ever. You got the hallway fight in season one, you got the other hallway fight with the Punisher in season two, and you got the whole prison sequence in season three, and now you get the whole opening of this movie. That's just one shot, which was just awesome, and again nostalgia, and just some of the fight sequences there you can tell was just really CGI, and it kind of took away from the experience a little bit for me to where I can notice, but but the fighting is still awesome. The fighting that we do get, you can definitely tell the same people from the Netflix show came out to do the choreographing, because obviously they did, and that was just awesome. The action was just as good as that original series already. And moving on past that, we don't. I won't spoil anything, but we don't really get to see Matthew as Daredevil quite yet. We don't really get to see him much. We see him as Daredevil in the first 15 minutes, but after that, for a reason, we do not see Matthew as Daredevil for a whole year at this point now. Again, I will not spoil why, but there is a reason to where he's not Daredevil anymore, and we kind of follow more Matthew and his lawyer and him being a lawyer, because him as a lawyer, and you can definitely tell it's been a long time, is that instead of being in this like broken down apartment complex for an office for being lawyers, they have their own freaking company now to where it's like an actual office. He works with other people. They have all these high tech stuff. Like if you watch that original series and then you watch this, you could definitely tell that he has come up in the world as a lawyer and all that, and how much more success he's had the last 7 years pretty much. So yeah, it's just some of those small details to me really is just awesome, and just shows you how long it's been since we've seen these characters again, which we have seen Daredevil in other MCU projects in just small roles. He was in Spider-Man No Way Home in a small little cameo. He was in Echo for a cool little sequence, a cool little fighting sequence with the Echo character, and then he went and fucked She-Hulk for some reason. And then we've also seen Fisk and Echo as well, and also Hawkeye. Like, it's just cool to see these characters again, and just seeing them, the main folks, once again. But yeah, seeing Matthew Moore followed as the lawyer so far these first two episodes, which we've mostly seen, excuse me, I really enjoyed that. I think that is one of the best parts about the original show, is those character arcs in a way, and those like the characters arguing with each other and their struggles as just normal everyday people. Like stuff like that is what I love about the original show, and they're mostly doing that so far, but again, we're only two episodes in. So yeah, I really like that. And the first episode was really good. I felt that was a great pilot, technically, for this new show, for this revival. And then we move on to episode two, and now, God, I keep getting heartburn, excuse me. We move on and we see that Fisk is officially mayor of New York City, and one of the main things that he will be passing as the mayor is that he will not be allowing vigilantes. He will not be allowing that to happen, pretty much. And one of the best scenes of the show already, and one of the best parts of that original series, is the conversation that Matthew and Wilson Fisk have at the diner, which was pretty much the main focus in the trailer when it was released. That was a cool sequence, just seeing those two talk to each other once again, seeing those two in the same scene one more time is just bringing back a lot of again nostalgia memories of that original show. Like that moment was just awesome, and now we see Wilson Fisk as the mayor, and Matthew obviously feels that he's somehow cheating, and somehow he's trying to just get the people's trust, and well, he's secretly doing off his mobster stuff that he was before. And so that has been really interesting so far. I'm really excited to see what they'll end up with doing that. And Fisk in this show so far has said that he's a changed man, that he's not the same person that he was before, but but a little cracks start to show in this episode to where there's one point where he kind of threatens someone, he kind of threatens his family at one point to where it's nothing brief, it's nothing big. He slightly threatens him to do something, and you see those small little cracks of the old school Wilson Fisk after saying that he's a changed man, but you can tell that there's still those cracks showing a little bit. So yeah, that little small little detail that we got in the second episode, I was like, oh, we're gonna get old school Fisk here soon. So yeah, I've been really enjoying this show so far. We also kind of got introduced to White Tiger a little bit, which it it hasn't really gotten anywhere just yet, which I feel will be explored next week. And we also got the introduction of Muse, not in full costume or anything, but we do see his actor. The actor was the guy that was the monster thing in the Wednesday show on Netflix. He's the guy who's playing Muse, and he showed up in the second episode as well, which it's kind of these first two episodes are more planting the seeds to where we might be going for the rest of this series, and also just reintroducing the characters once more, and just saying hello to old friends once again, pretty much. But yeah, so far, these first two episodes I thought were pretty good. It's not the Netflix show by any means just yet, but it is so far a worthy continuation of that original show, and I am very intrigued to see where the rest of the show is going to be going. I'm excited to see Josh Brolin come back at Josh Brolin. God, what's his name? I forget his actor's name, but the guy who plays Punisher, he's going to be coming back. I'm excited to see him. I'm excited to see what they're going to be doing with Daredevil and Fisk once again. I cannot wait to see what this show has to offer. These first two episodes really sold me. I got that old school Daredevil feeling once again, and you can definitely feel that these characters are now in the MCU because they felt like they got bigger upgrades and stuff like that. I'm just overall excited for the future, and then when it ends, it's going to be really good, and then I have to wait for season two. I don't want to wait for season two. I want it right now. However, I'm really enjoying the show so far. And if you guys have seen the first two episodes, let me know in the comments below what you guys thought about it. If you thought this was a great first two episodes for this show. Do you think it's a great continuation so far from the original series? Let me know all in comments below, and we shall talk about it. And if you like this video, like it. And if you love to subscribe with the bell notification so you will get notified for all my latest videos. And tune in on here every Tuesday for my weekly Daredevil episode reviews. As I am right now, I'll be doing this every Tuesday when they air. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you all next time.